for what he is. I copied the bit where he says he's on a lone crusader, he's championed the cause of the innocent. If anyone has a really good memory, that's actually the starting monologue on Night Rider. Alright? So, some of you don't speak the hell of Night Rider. Show my age. Alright, so why was this good? Because it told me who he was, so this, what his core skills are, and what he's done repeatedly. So he's done skills more than once. Alright? So why do you think this is, why do you want to do this? Who can tell me why this is a good idea? Thinking about what is the resume's job is to get you an interview, why do you want to tell them the stuff that you're good at? Huh?
So they can see that something you've done repeatedly and well, it could be something that applies directly to their work. And he's got that skill meaning.
Yep, that's true. But let's put this into an interview situation. If they see what you've done and it's the stuff that you're good at, what's going to happen in the interview? They're going to ask you about it. So, okay, ask the question. How difficult it is to explain something that you're bad at? Or you don't like? That sucks, right? So imagine, I don't know, macrame. I don't know macrame, I had no intention of doing that, right? But if someone was asking about macrame, I'd be really crap at explaining what it was, right? And you can imagine, like, what the hell is that? Oh, it's sort of knitting, okay, maybe. You know? But if you're talking about, like, database stuff, or something like that, I can go on for the cows come home. So, what I'm talking about is you're setting yourself up to actually talk about stuff that you know, and you can talk about it, right? So in the interview, they're asking you about the stuff that you're good at. So suddenly you're like, yeah, I can do this, and I've done that, and done this. So you get really excited. They start asking you questions, stuff that you don't know. It's like, oh, yeah, well, I haven't done that before, and you stop talking. A mental note: when you're in an interview, the employer expects you to talk 2/3 of the time. So mentally, you need to G up to that. If you're not good and you're nervous, if someone's going to want to speak to you for 2/3 of the time, wants you to speak 2/3 of the time, that's really scary. Okay? So you've got to prepare. So why not talk about the stuff you're good at? If you're passionate about AI, let's say for example, then you could probably talk about that to the cows come home. That's exactly what you want, right? You want to talk about the stuff you're good at. So you're talking about the stuff you're good at, or you're going to fuck it up. Right? It's really, really good. It's really important. Okay, now what? So what's in a resume? Well, I used to say it's 1 page. I have relaxed my policies. It's 1 or 2 pages. You've got 1 or 2 pages. If this is in the right structure, it can be longer. Preferably it's there, but this is your core skills, right? Your core skills. The other parts of what you've done will come. Alright, so we're talking about the technical summary, stuff that you have done technically, so giving an outline of your technical experience. Second, and third is qualifications, so that's your grades, okay, and references. So if you think about it like 1 or 2 pages for your resume, maybe half a page, or your technical summary, qualifications might be a page or a couple of pages, whatever it is, right? And last thing is a couple of references, okay? So that's what a CV should have. This 1 pager, this first bit, is your personal promise. So that's a bit of a loaded word. What it means is, what makes you you? What are you good at? What are you interested in? I'll talk about it later, but like after reading 100 of them, I got this. I'm really enthusiastic, I'm honest. I've got all these sort of very generic words, right? Doesn't mean that it doesn't apply to you, but there's no personality in it. Okay? There were some CVs out there that didn't have much depth, but they had personality, so they got bonus points when I did my review. Because I actually thought, oh, well, I have a sense of who this person is. Right? It's a bit of personality. So you're talking about what you're actually interested in. So if you're interested in multiplayer and role-playing games, and that really does it, right? Talk about why. Okay? Because it's talking about what makes you you. Very, very important. Second is we've got these core competencies and skills. There's 4 or 5 things that you are good at, that you and you alone. Alright? The next bit is your career history, so who you've worked for. You know, it doesn't matter. One of the questions I get asked all the time is, if I work for McDonald's, should I put that on there? Well, yes, but you should sort of steer it in a way that's going to be positive to you. So if you have responsibility or various things in mind, put that there, put that down. We'll talk about that later when we actually get into building the CV. Alright, so it's important that that stuff is there. Right, so to find out this stuff, we use this thing called the OR approach. So, you guys are doing computer science or engineering. So this is like a science experiment. Think of think of a piece of work. So it might be, for you guys, it might be a course. Okay? So you think about one course and you think, okay, what will I try to achieve in this course? So it might be, someone who had a course with me. Tom, what the hell is that? Introduction to Computer Science? Alright, let's try something a bit more challenging. 302 is computer databases, right? Okay? Alright, so what were the goals? Well, I'm going to learn about databases. Okay? Alright, what analysis did you make? So, in other words, when you were learning this stuff, what did you actually have to do? Well, we had to learn all this new stuff. We had to figure out what was appropriate. So, we're building SQL queries or we're building a database. We had to figure out what's important. Alright? Then you did some actions. So, we learned how to do X, Y, and Z. We had to build a system, connect it to something else. Or, there's a bunch of actions. What were the results? Well, we did this so that we could achieve some goal. We were building, a classified system or a blog or whatever it was. There was an actual goal for you to do that work. Right? So if you think about any topic that you have done, you can break it down in this way. So it's like science, right? It's like there's a hypothesis that we're testing. We did some stuff and then there were results. Okay? So we lead this back to your career stuff. I'm really good at this particular thing. Here's an example why and how I did it and what the result was. So, it might be I'm really good at problem solving. In Database 302 course, I had to figure out how to do very complex database queries to solve this issue. And I did it in this way, and the result was that we were able to achieve this goal. Right? So for Michael Knight, he had, I'm a problem solver. I had to use my fists to convince other people to not do bad stuff so that we could win and save the day. Right? It's a crazy example, but that's the type of thing that it's going to do. So later on tonight in the workshop bit, we're going to actually use this as a premise to go through and take this fictional character and build out his CV. That's part one. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to actually take a computer science course and we're all going to figure out how to write things for it. Okay? So how do you actually figure out this stuff? Remember, this is part one of the resume workshop. The next one is actually you guys come in with your CVs and we will look at them. Okay? One-on-one help. Okay? Because it's really, really important to us this year. Right, so in finding out all this stuff, if you were to do this for each course, you're going to find behaviour, stuff that you did repeatedly. So if you think about it in your stage at university, you're doing a lot of research or analysis stuff. So you're going to have to think, well, how the hell does this work? I do something, I get a result. So it's like a bit of testing going on, right? R&D. Action, result, and you change it. Think about when you're doing that stuff. Those behaviours, you have ones that appear again and again and again. Okay? To be honest, it is really hard to figure this stuff out yourself. Okay? I can take it from my own personal experience, had no freaking idea. In my career, I was doing stuff that I thought was cool, but when I actually did one of these types of scenarios, I found out that I actually should be doing something else. It's completely different. Alright? So it is really, really hard. What I would suggest to you is talk to people who know you, so that if you get on with some of the lecturers, ask them. Okay, what do you think I'm good at? What about that assignment or that piece of work was good? Okay? Like when I was your age and I was here, we had this guy, he wrote the most perfect code. Like syntactically and structure. The freaking lecturers printed it out and put it on the wall and said this is like poetry. Guess what? Everybody wanted to punch it. Right? But as a core strength, they would say he does elegant code, right? Really well structured code. Guess what? His first